Hi, and thanks for joining us today. I'm here with Kenneth Hiller of the Law Offices of Kenneth Hiller. Hi, Ken. How are you doing today?
Good.
Now, Ken, most people in the Western New York area probably are aware of your firm and know that you are one of the largest disability firms in all of Western New York. But what they may not know is that disability law isn't the only type of law that you practice here. Could you tell us a little bit about the other areas of law that your firm practices, and then the types of cases within those areas that you handle?
Sure. Well, we have what we would call a consumer law department, and that's very broad, but basically we represent people who are being harassed by debt collectors. That harassment can be what you really think of the harassment, people yelling at you or using profanities or lying to you on the phone to collect a debt. Or more recently, robocalls. And what they do is they just blow up your cell phone. They call you, and it can be telemarketers, debt collectors, anyone who calls your cell phone. And we handle cases against companies that abuse that privilege.
And is it specifically cell phones? And a lot of people probably don't have landlines anymore anyways, but...
Well, the law is really geared against cell phones. There is some little opening for landlines, but generally it's cell phones because basically your cell phone is private. You know, Congress decided that people should have some privacy with their cell phones. And so they basically adopted very tough laws against people who violate your privacy by calling your cell phone without your permission.
And you said up to $1,500 per call.
You can get up to $1,500 per call.
Wow.
If they call you on purpose, without having your consent.
Without having consent.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, someone in that situation, now I know I get calls all the time and I ignore them or I block them. What do you suggest for people who are being bombarded by these calls? What do they need to do in order to allow you to help them? Do they have to record things? What do they have to do?
Well, recording is helpful. We have people who take pictures of their cell phone log, getting your phone records if you can. Sometimes that's difficult, but you don't really have to do that. It's good to keep a log of the calls. If you're getting the calls, you've tried to stop them, they're continuing to come in. Put a little log by your phone, and every time they call, keep what happened, who you talked to, how many times did they call in a day, perhaps. But ultimately, it's not a problem either way because we can get the records.
You can get the records.
Right.
Okay. And you also mentioned debt collection harassment.
Yes.
And so kind of the same question along those lines. How does one prove that I've been harassed by a debt collector? What do I need to do? Because if they get me on the phone and they start being abusive to me, I probably haven't had the call recording. How do you go about proving harassment?
Well, one thing you can do is record the call. In New York State, it's a one-party state, and it's legal to tape record a telephone call. Other states it's not, so that's a disclaimer.
Okay.
Okay. But or you again have that log, a contemporaneous note where you write down the debt collector, called me, this or that, or was abusive with me, said he was going to take my Social Security, which they can't. Or said they were going to take my pension plan. Write down in real time what they told you, and that's pretty credible if you wrote that down right at the time that they called you.
Okay, all right. I looked over your website before we came here today, and I noticed you also handle credit reporting errors. Now, I'm assuming that most people in this country probably have never even heard of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and if they have, they probably don't know what protections they have under it. And they probably also aren't aware of the fact that many credit reports have errors, or contain errors. So could you speak a little to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, how it protects people and what you can do for them as far as these errors on their credit reporting and maybe what they need to help you help them?
Well, the Fair Credit Reporting Act allows you to collect damages for any financial loss you have as a result of a credit reporting error. So, very typically we have somebody applies for a mortgage. They can't get a mortgage because somebody with a similar name, their credit is on their report. Or there's just something outright false on the report, saying that you didn't pay a debt when in fact you did. And what we do is, or what we advise people to do is to dispute that. And you dispute it to the credit reporting agency.
Before they even call you.
Right,
dispute it first. Okay.
Right. And everything should go certified mail, and you make copies of everything you send. Don't do it on their website. They have you may have seen in the news, they have little blurbs on the website says if you click this, you're agreeing you can never sue us.
Yeah, there's yep.
And so you don't want to do that. I mean, those are not probably would not be upheld in the courts, but it's better to avoid it altogether.
Sure. Yes.
And people are really injured from your credit report from not being able to do the things you want to do in life, to buy a car, to buy a house. One woman couldn't get a pool. She wanted to get a pool in her house, and in her backyard. She couldn't because somebody else's credit with a social security number, one number different, was on her credit report.
Wow.
And it made her look like she was a very poor credit risk.
And people in that type of situation can not only hire your firm to help clean up these errors and get everything straightened out, but they can also collect damages.
Yes.
If they can prove they were damaged.
Right, and sometimes we start off right from the beginning with our clients. We do the dispute for you, and you would be surprised. This woman with the social security number, we disputed it, and the error continued. You would think that they would be able to rectify a simple mistake like that, but no. Or they fix it for a little while, and then 6 months later it comes back. Because they have a computer system that's not perfect, and it causes real problems in people's lives.
Wow. All right, well, we'll be right back after this message. More with Kenneth.
Hello, I'm attorney Kenneth Hiller. At my firm, we care about our clients. When a client of mine is denied, I take it personally and simply will not accept no for an answer. We are aggressive in appealing a denial by Social Security. If an administrative law judge denies one of our clients, we often appeal that and even sue Social Security to force them to correct their errors. In fact, we file more appeals to federal court than any other law firm in Western New York. If you are unable to work full-time because of a medical impairment, call us today for a free consultation.